Hello and welcome back to OT, the podcast. We're here to talk about watches, time, and how Andy's been spending his time. My name's Felix, and with me is...
the aforementioned Andy.
Hi, Andy. How are you?
Good, mate. How are you doing?
Good. You know what I did yesterday? You do know what I did yesterday.
You pucked me about. That's what you did.
I did. I'm sorry about that. I attended the ice hockey, that most Australian of sports.
Was it mighty?
Yeah, there weren't many Mighty Ducks references made.
Boring.
I don't know. Maybe that's not the done thing.
It's probably overplayed at this point. 30 years on.
Yeah. It was. We saw the Melbourne Ice defeat the. God, I can't remember what the Perth team was called, but they lost 7-3 or something like that. It's a good game. It was entertaining to watch.
Wouldn't know if it was a good or a bad game, would you?
Well, it was entertaining. I clarified it on that point. I suspect it wasn't the highest quality hockey game. I suspect the semi-pro Australian Hockey League maybe isn't really internationally well regarded. Apologies.
Fair enough. Do you know what wasn't icy?
What was not icy?
The response to last week's episode of the pod, where we ran through Watches and Wonders Part 1.
Less icy, more spicy.
It was. Well done. So there's still a bit up my sleeve. I'm not quite doing a Dubai Files spec on this, but I've got a bit up my sleeve as far as...
You say that now. I know what we've got planned for like at least the next 5 episodes.
I did 4 interviews at Watches and Wonders. That's it.
Yeah, and we've got a little manufacture tour to talk about.
2. I did 2 manufacture tours. So
there we go.
Yeah, it's all happening, but it was good response, especially in our Discord. Quite vibrant. I think myself and a few of the members in there losing a bit of sleep over the excitement of engaging in such a thoughtful and riveting discussion. It's where it all happens. It's a bit of a dark social playfield for us to share unfiltered opinions.
Yeah, and I think it is quite. It's that weird thing. Like, I thought about this the other day because it's that sort of, you have that feeling of, because there's a small percentage of like regularly active members of the Discord. And you feel like you get to know them. You feel like it's a safe space. You're telling the truth. You're saying the real things, but you don't know if gamer tag 420. It could be Defoe. It could be Georges Kern. We don't know.
It could be one of the Arnaults. I haven't conclusively ruled out any of the Arnault family in the Discord.
I got a little question for you. Which watch brand CEO would have the most active Discord account? Who's up there gaming, playing a little bit of Counter-Strike?
Gaming. I think gaming versus being active on Discord are probably different. I reckon there's a gaming CEO, and then I think that there is a kind of community-focused CEO. Okay. Which would be in the Discord having chats with people.
Who's the gaming CEO, who's a community CEO, and why is it one of the Arnauts?
Well, I reckon Freddie Arnault, the youngest, is probably the one who's still gaming, bringing Mario Kart and all its goodness to the world of watches. The most engaged in the community, I reckon, is going to be Chris Granger from IWC. I reckon he's... Is
he like, guys, we're going to have to put the chat on slow mode? These watches are too fire.
By default, I think his PR team would have the chat on slow mode just to manage it. But I mean, it's a thought. It's a thought.
Sure. Hey, something that got the chat very much off slow mode in our Discord was a sneaky little bit of Cartier. Over the last few weeks, we've covered off their whole collection. We've talked about the Privé last week in a bit more depth.
Yep.
But if we're realistic, there's less than 1,000 of those watches out there.
There is
a watch that is a bit more accessible, dare I say it, the Santos de Cartier Jewel Time.
Really interesting timepiece out of Cartier. This one is it's effectively a GMT function, right? Just done differently. It's without the hand. It's a subdial at 6, and it's just a different way of adding a second time zone.
And I think it's also, this is probably the point in the chat where we should say that this episode is made in partnership with Cartier, so thank you, Cartier, for that. Head to cartier.com.au to check out their watches in more detail, or Cartier Watch Community, which is their sort of official IG watch focused account, which is good. Recommend it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So this is in the package, being the Santos that we all love, 40mm case or 40.2mm case, 10.1mm thick, which I think is thick's not the right word. That's a slim guy.
Yeah, not bad for a complicated watch.
Yeah, steel, grey dial, applied Roman numerals, and water resistant to 100 meters. Not that you will need it. Obviously, has the quick switch system, which Cartier had nailed many years ago now. So you can kind of swap the bracelet or strap without tools, and also do kind of micro adjustments on the fly, like the Santos was intended.
That's the Smart Link, I believe, the bracelet.
Smart Link, you're correct. But it's a cool package, and I like that in a world where, you know, everything's kind of going up, there's still this sort of fantastic offering within Cartier's lineup. It's the Santos is one of the core, you know, focuses for the brand, so it makes sense that they've done this here.
Yep, and I think it'll be a very popular watch. You know, obviously everywhere, but specifically for Australia, I think it's really well suited to our market. You know, we've got several time zones here. We travel a lot. This is it's a watch. You know, while it's not a travel watch necessarily, it's still got that, you know, sort of Cartier elegance and you know, versatility. But I think it's well suited to that sort of role in one's life. Yeah, so this is the large model. What did you think about it size-wise? How did it play for you?
I mean, it's still got a good wrist presence. Large look, it doesn't wear as you might think a large watch will wear. Like calling a watch large, you might, you know, jump to conclusions. It's very ergonomic and it fits quite well. Yep. One of my favorite things about the Santos, which I've probably said 17 times, is that the various sizes can all be worn by the same size wrist. Just the way that they've sort of nailed the ergonomics, the flatness of the case back, and then the way it sort of drapes over towards the end of the wrist. That's very deliberate. So yeah, it's got sporty vibes. It's more, you know, we've talked a lot about the dressy watches, the elegant Privé collection and whatnot. It's got, you know, kind of industrial vibes with the sort of the polished stainless steel bezel and the screws and the bracelet. But then it still feels sporty. It still feels plenty sporty. Plenty great.
Last question for you, before we get on to the rest of Watches and Wonders and the world of horology. Opted not to go for a GMT hand. They've gone for that sort of second hour marker at the bottom with that 24-hour day-night indicator just above it. What do you think of this design decision?
Well, I'm trying to picture a GMT hand on the Santos.
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
I can't imagine, and it makes sense for a watch that sort of doesn't have like a time-telling feature on the bezel, if you're with me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it makes more sense to have it displayed in the non-traditional kind of sense. I think it would be a bit harder to read as well. And I like the contrast that the sort of light silver, whitish sort of subdial brings.
Yep.
It's easy. It's legible, I should say. It's got the day-night indicator as well, so it's, you know, a little bit of extra complication in there. I think it's a good solution. I think it's kind of a clever solution all in.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's very much in keeping with Cartier's, you know, that sort of, you know, complication in service of design approach, which is great. By the way, sneaky dog appearance behind you. I love it.
Lena, what are you doing? There she is. Yeah. Yeah, the office pal.
Internet famous dogs. Well, yeah, as you know, as we said, we're going to talk a bit more about Cartier in the upcoming weeks. Listen back to certainly that Cartier overview episode. You can find it on YouTube, of course, if you haven't seen it. And again, cartier.com.au. Andy, of course, watches are more than Cartier. Where in the Palexpo of Wonder and Fun do you want to head next?
I want to head to. I actually want to take us to Chanel, just to be a complete.
Why not get some tweed on?
Be a complete contrast. So I had enough time at the Chanel booth, which was extremely popular. I remember the days, you know, we did Basel and Chanel was not bustling like it was bustling at Watches and Wonders this year, Felix. It was jam-packed. Lines out the front, you know, appointment only. They had all the jewelry on display. They had, which was quite cool and stuff I didn't understand. But they sort of had a couple of key new timepieces. So the Boyfriend got the pink treatment. The J12 got a tourbillon and a bit of an update, and then the Monsieur got a bit of a touch. The one I really liked though was the Pink Edition Boyfriend. So there was two. There was I think it was called the X-Ray, which was a pink sapphire case, limited to 55 pieces, and then there was a Skeleton Pink Edition in beige gold, which love that there's beige gold. But that was a gem set with, I want to say, 60 baguette cut sapphires in pink. One of my favorite touches that on this watch was so cool was like the strap was like quilted. So sort of that iconic Chanel quilting that you see on the handbags. Yep. They did to the strap, which I think was just awesome. It is a cool watch. It's very...
If people have been listening to me for a while or reading what I write for a while, this will be no surprise. But whenever people sort of talk about, sleeper brands, I always go to the big fashion house watch brands because they're so good at what they do, and they come with their own, internal design language and system, and it might not be like Swiss watchmaking heritage. Chanel's probably been making, the J12's, 24 years old. They may be making watches for 50 years, but they're so good at what they do, and they've got, top tier.
They got some chops. They got some absolute chops.
The Chanel Group's own a Steak and Jaune. They own, they've got proper stuff happening, and they're really...
They have manufacturing movement, so, they're legit, right? So, I mean, the J12 X-Ray, which they did, again, Year of the Pink, so I don't know if an OT collab's happening or not. We'll sort it out. But they did it, sapphire case, a bunch, I think 93 baguette sapphire crystals on the bezel and on the dial that's not there, and then a beige gold sort of bracelet and kind of inner case. 12 pieces. They're going, we're just making 12. We are... And
they'll all be sold. They will all have been sold.
That was the really interesting thing. And so they're just doing stuff and going to that level and then doing it at just a volume. I feel like just because they can. I mean, I saw, just to go sidetracked a little bit, but I saw Hermes, they were doing like limited editions of 5 or 12.
Yep.
And it makes you think. It makes you think these 2,000 limited edition pieces that we've come to expect, or 1,000, it's a lot. Limited is, 12.
I mean, especially for like highly jeweled, highly complicated or high sort of métiers d'art stuff, it makes sense. Like there's a big, they're not just stamping out one dial, times 10,000. There's some actual hours going into it. You mentioned Hermes. Do you want to chat about them briefly, or do you want to sort of whip around elsewhere?
Did you see anything from Hermes you liked? I mean, I was just looking at the enamel dial work that they were doing in the different kind of horse paintings.
It's incredible. That's what I want to get. Like, what was your experience of the booth? Because that's always been one of my favourite. Little smirky smile there. So was that I really loved it, or I didn't pay any attention?
No. I got taken around to every single watch. Yeah, but I mean, so the enamel collector's pieces, which again are sort of 5 or 6 limited edition, are insane. They're actually like individual pieces of artwork, and obviously the horse is a very important animal to Hermes, and so this year there was just a bunch of different sort of artwork ponies incorporating and ponies into it. The Hermes press gift was a fan favorite. Everyone was jealous, leaving with a big Hermes orange bag with a box inside of it. Hermes beach towel for
classic.
Everyone was like, "What's in the bag? What did he give out?" And trying to get it.
Just go. It starts with a B.
They were trying to get out trying to get a last minute invite to kind of get organised and go get something, but they missed out evidently. It was very impressive, and it's similar vibe as far as the work that they do in I feel like the overall kind of approach, which is to create a watchmaking extension of their brand, which fits into everything else that they're doing. So it was quite cool. Those was sort of a couple of my favorite booths. I mean, to go back to Chanel, the jewelry pieces that again were sort of like one-offs or one of two or whatever it was, were just magical. Like it was a really magical experience.
Fun fact about Hermes, their enamel, I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think their full enamel dials, they only use Anita Porcher, which is like pretty top tier. Like,
yeah, probably.
She's like Patek, and Hermes is like her year, and maybe one other brand gets one sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so the other thing that I had was a Mademoiselle's workshop, and so sewing tools and workshop vibes were kind of heavily sewn into the design.
I saw a few years ago or somewhere, they've got the sort of the jewellery pieces like the pin cushions. You know how you have the seamstresses will have the...
this was the model, you know, what is it called? The
mannequin?
bust, the mannequin. No, but the sewing one.
The sewing mannequin or whatever it
The
is.
sewing mannequin. Yes, you can tell that we're the market for this. So that was pretty good. They did some kind of monochromatic artwork on one of the J12s, which was sort of, like a seamstress cutting
Cool.
a jacket with like fabric on the floor in a
It's
little
just
workshop.
fun.
Yeah, it is cool. It's cool stuff. You gotta have big pockets for it, but it's cool stuff. Anyway, from Chanel, we could wander to another brand I liked, which was Chopard.
Yeah, we'll keep it with the theme as well.
The CH brands.
Stuff. I'm not really across Chopard this year. What was their shtick?
Okay, so Alpine Eagle, the LUC, and the Mille Miglia were the sort of the three focuses, at least to me. Alpine Eagle got a Tech Titanium.
Yeah, look even a bit bigger and sportier than normal.
With a skeleton dial. This was an interesting one. For me, the appeal of the Chopard Alpine Eagle especially is the dial. So to remove the dial is a bit weird. I didn't love it. I like the Alpine Eagle, but I just kind of go, this watch is about the dial. And a few people have sort of said that, but it's cool. I know what they're doing. Integrated sports model with skeleton dial is obviously all the rage. So there's that. They did also have a Alpine Eagle Frozen Summit, which was a cool watch.
I like the Frozen Summit.
Yeah, what'd you like about it? Let me guess.
You're guessing, or?
I'm going to guess that you liked all of the diamonds.
Oh, no, I was talking about the... is it the Frozen Summit? There was one with blue dial and like a rubber strap.
Oh, no, that's the Mille Miglia.
No, it's definitely an Alpine Eagle. Let me have a quick...
Maybe it was one of the other Alpine Eagles.
I'll read out the name for
the Frozen Summit is the iced out version.
This is the
Alpine
XL
Eagle.
Chrono in titanium with a rubber strap and a icy blue dial with black subdials.
Okay, yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so the Frozen Summit's the gem set everything, every square millimeter of the watch. So there was that. There was the Mille Miglia, which was, to me, it kind of felt refreshed. They did the old glass box special to the dial.
Nice.
And sapphire, which adds, a bunch of depth and sort of smooths things out. They did a limited edition, which they showed me. So I think there was two. There was a 250 in lucent steel, and then there was a 50 in another lucent steel model, which was also had gold, ethical yellow gold, 80 karat gold. Both really nice. I remember this watch, the Mille Miglia, being.
I just like hearing you say it. We need a little Mille Miglia, little supercut.
Steve will get on it. I remember being like kind of a chunky watch.
Yes.
And big and sporty of the time. Not anymore. Really elegant. The strap, like a lot of the branding and over the top branding, if I'm being honest, kind of came off.
Yep.
The rubber strap with the tie tread on it was really quite comfortable and soft and a really nice, enjoyable timepiece to wear. I put it on and go, this is great. Like this is a nice little timepiece. So that was cool. Shame that it's limited, but I mean, then I reminded myself that every watch Chopard makes is pretty limited. Yeah. They don't make many.
Did you see the LUC with the green dial?
That's where we're headed next. I sure did. Sure did. The green dial and then the silver as well.
Yep.
So 2 new sector dials, caliber LUC 96, great movement, beautiful movement on display on the back. The forest green was quite nice, thin, elegant. I mean, the LUC is just a slept-on watch, if you ask
Not
me.
these days. Everyone's hyping it up. I think it's Tony Trainer. We can blame him almost exclusively for the return of
and
LUC.
maybe Revolution. They did the limited edition. Cool watch. I think the money on these is pretty good as well. I want to say you're in the teens in Aussie dollars. You're in the teens somewhere. Yeah. I think you're in the teens for the green dial.
For LUC, that's incredible.
I think like 18, 19. Yeah.
I'll quick. You talk, you vamp while I try and Google.
Unless I remember that as Swiss francs, but then you're in the tens in Swiss francs, so it doesn't matter. Then there was another LUC, which was the Qualite Fleur. I don't know how to say it. Silver dial.
Fleurier?
Yeah, there you go. Quality Fleurier, which was again really nice, really clean, simple, elegant watches. That was awesome. I saw some of their haute jewelry pieces as well. There was something that was just absolutely bonkers that was like diamonds and blue sapphires and
nice.
Like white sapphires, I guess. It was just insane. They showed me a piece that they made with who's the ambassador?
Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts piece. That was a co-designed piece with Julia Roberts.
Sick.
I'll find the video of that and share it. But it was a co-designed piece that had like heaps of turquoise that she'd done for something that they actually had, I guess, for sale.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But overall, like it was a great kind of interesting experience at the Chopard booth.
I've looked up the price on our friend Sedinki. It is $11,800 USD.
Yeah. See?
That might well be like one of the best value props in like dressy classical watchmaking at the moment.
I mean, yes.
What else?
Well, look, before we jump to IWC, okay, sure, you could go to IWC. This is low production. I think it's really important to remember that Chopard are making a fraction of what a manufacturer like IWC are making.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go like, what's the 1908, granted, precious metal, yeah.
But I think the quality of the movement of the LUC, that's like, Patek level.
Yeah, I think these are going to be pretty hard to get, especially in Oz, but really, really cool. So 11 US, see, the 17, 18, my memory,
that's cool.
It was a late night appointment. It was my second last appointment of the fair, so, forgive me. But yeah, there was
You said IWC. Do you want to chat about them? They had a pretty good year as well in terms of dress watches.
They did have a good year. We also saw some of the stuff before we left. So you got to go hands-on. The talking points of the 2024 collection are it's the Portuguese. Everything pretty much is Portuguese focused.
Yep.
2 dials that they brought out, the June, which was a sort of a goldy.
3 dials, Andy. 3.
Correct.
Horizon Blue, Dune, and Obsidian.
Oh, yes, of course, Obsidian. You know what? To be fair, Obsidian got a bit less of a run because everyone was caught up in the June and the blue. Was it Horizon Blue? Obsidian, I think, is more on the higher end precious metal pieces. So
they look sick though, like rose gold with black dial, big old 42mm Portuguese or automatic. It's a proper grown up watch.
That's true. That is.
It looks nice.
Absolutely true. The Horizon Blue is very, very cool. So the Portuguese family encompasses the perpetual calendar, the Portuguese or the Porty-40.
Porty-40 in blue is chef's kiss.
It's a good boy. The Portuguese chronograph, and then the eternal calendar.
Eternal calendar as well, which is new. And there's a few other randos. Like there was a tourbillon they sort of kind of released and.
So the big talking point is the eternal calendar, which is like 45 million years, something like that. It's a price on request piece.
What I'm most impressed by is the fact that they still kept it in the 44mm case of the regular perpetuals.
Yeah, look, it's thick. It's a thick fella. But the other thing with the Portuguese, the case has been reworked to be much more ergonomic, and it's noticeable as someone who's worn their share over the years. It's definitely a noticeable kind of improvement on wearability. So it sort of maintains a bit of width, but the way it sort of sits on the wrist is definitely a lot better and worth checking out for yourself. For me,
this might be me assuming the Horizon Blue is only in white gold.
No, steel.
Oh, really?
I believe there's a steel. Ooh, let me just check that. I believe that.
Let's frantically check prices before we get polite emails saying
You might be right.
It's only. I thought there was some exclusivity around the metal choices because I was like,
you're spot
I remember
on.
looking at the Porty 40, going, that is a really, really solid watch, but then going, it's white gold. Okay, not for Felix.
You're 100% right. I lost that in the memory bank. Yeah, it is. So June.
June is steel?
June comes in steel. Obsidian, I don't think there's anything steel that it comes in.
The yellow golds,
Yeah, so they've done a bit of a Rolex thing here, saving their ice blue or their horizon blue for precious metal.
It's smart. It's a beautiful. It's good.
Yeah, I mean the Porty 40 starts at 11K Aussie. On a strap on bracelet, it's 12.5. So it's a watch worth looking at. It gets a look in.
Yeah, great. I think the new proportions are really, really great. They've done nice work on the case, flanks, and all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, I mean, I did a manufacture tour of the IWC. We'll talk about that later on. Cool. Chams one of the dudes that came along from Watch Advice. He was rocking the Porty Yacht Club.
Ooh, classy watch. Good choice, Chams.
It was a good choice, but yeah, it was a vibrant booth. The June, especially in the Perp Cal, really nice. Like the amount of.
I've got another question for you, and this is not watch related at all, Andy. Perpetual calendar is great, really useful and all that stuff. IWC in Australia has made their main, not their main, obviously the watches are their main, but a very important marketing strategy that they use to get people to come to their booth at Watches and Wonders, is the fact that they have a real coffee machine and real coffee. Did you try it? Did it live up to the hype?
I didn't try the coffee. You know the thing.
Was it out of busyness or snobbery? Like, whoa, you're only using Guatemalan single origin. Oh.
Geneva, we need to talk about coffee. Switzerland, we need to talk about your coffee. Precision machines, precision cars. It's one of the most expensive places in the world to exist. And I walk down the street and you want to try every cafe, every restaurant. It's the same Nespresso machine, one with the 2 tanks, and anyone who's been knows exactly the ones I'm talking about. 2 tanks on the side. They drop an espresso pot in, hand your credit card reader, and it's 9 francs, which is, 14 Australian dollars. It is daylight robbery and then some. It's just absurd. They just don't care. And you go to a cafe, and it's the same thing. So anyway, all that to say,
I've got a question. I've got a challenge here. I'm going to challenge you.
No, hold on. Let me finish my rant. Let me finish my rant.
Yep, cool.
Right. So did I have IWC coffee? No, I know it's meant to be good, but I just suffered in the morning. I had my coffee, and then you're at the fair. It's just not enjoyable. You'd get a double espresso, and they'd serve you a cup of just black coffee. I don't even know how it's not double. It's not even espresso at that point. It's nearly a long black. So 100 ml. It's bizarre. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't really have a taste. It just kind of is hot. Not enjoyable. So I didn't have a single coffee once I got to the fair. I just pushed through and got on with it. I did hear the IWC coffee was good. It was actually barista made, but I just went into a mode of just having no coffee at all once I'd left my hotel and getting on from there.
So this is a challenge not for you, but for I know for a fact that Swiss watch executives listen to this on occasion. I know these Swiss watch executives have taste in coffee. We've met them in Melbourne. We've met them around the world, and they go, "Oh, I love a coffee," all this sort of stuff. Please comment, either publicly or privately, where should we be getting coffee in Geneva? Where is good? Like, is there I hate to use the phrase, Melbourne-style cafe?
No, there's not. I looked. I just don't know that you'd be able to get away with it. But I looked. There's no specialty coffee. There's even like actual places that say they're cafes. It's weird because they open at 6 p.m. and then they're open till 2 a.m. in the morning. Like that's their version of a cafe.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know. I find it really odd that a country that cares about so much and the details and quality.
Is Starbucks your best bet? Maybe.
If you want to really, go home without a kidney, maybe Starbucks possibly could. I don't.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm sorry I brought it up. I wasn't expecting to go down that path. I thought we had ended rants with Bremont, but no, coffee got Andy riled up again. IWC knocked that on the head. Excellent work. Dress
Let's go
watches,
to-
calendars. Ooh.
Let's go to Zenith.
Zenith. Yes. Oh, I like Zenith. Tell me, what did you see?
Okay, so the releases here that were worth talking about.
Yep.
From Zenith, Defy was the focus. So
Yes.
a couple of pieces, Defy Chrono, Defy Revival, and the Defy Extreme Diver. I saw all of these. I will give Zenith props for having quite a nice booth for photography's sake. Really nice lighting. You could get hands-on with the watches quite well. So if we start with the Skyline Chrono, the Defy Skyline Chrono, $3. So silver, blue, black, integrated bracelet, nice stuff. I mean, the quality is there. The movement was, it's a classic movement. The build
El
construction, El Primero movement. Again, I like where brands are at with their sort of quick change bits and pieces for the strap. So I did this, and the strap is so easy and simple. It's really quite smart the way that the strap, change system works. Really great watch. I was putting it on, a little on the big side for me.
Sure.
So would it hold me back from buying it? Yeah, it's kind of Royal Oak offshore size of thick boy.
Okay.
But plenty of people would
That's
go, yeah,
not
this
a
is
coincidence,
great.
I suspect.
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I just thought, the price, $20,700 Australian.
Yep.
It's
And
not
what was it?
20,700 Australian.
For a chrono. Okay.
It's pushing, it's up there. And I gave that feedback because, I did.
not?
Yeah, it's not, I think it's a missed opportunity, the pricing. Obviously, they've done it for a reason. But I do think if it was if it was a little bit less, you'd stand more of a shot at really kind of standing out this year. Because otherwise, it just on paper, it reads as a, blue, white, black dial chronograph, seal integrated bracelet from a great, manufacturer that's out there. So I don't know. Is it a missed opportunity to do something quite disruptive? I think it is.
Can I tell you the one that I like out of the lineup, and I'll be really interested in seeing what you thought of it IRL?
Yep.
Extreme Diver Blue Dial Fabric Strap.
Again, really cool watch. Big.
It's like 42, 43?
42.5. But the way the case... it's got
those
this
crown
angle.
guards.
It's got this angle in the bezel. And I think if you look up how thick it is...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures now. It does look chonk.
I don't think that they give a case size, like thickness size. It's thick. It's a thick... It's quite technical, though. So the way that the pushes, the bezel, the sort of inner bezel, the crystal, it all sits together. It forms quite a technical looking stack.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It actually is a cool looking watch. Yeah. It's too... again, I think it's just too large for me, but I'm not the guy. You would rock it. You would love it.
On that fabric strap especially.
Yeah, it's made of recycled fishing nets, which is quite cool. I did like the themes that you're sort of getting from watch brands as they sort of push more and more towards sustainability or their version of sustainability. The bezel on this was quite nice, sounded great, really nice to use.
Was it 120 or 60 clicks?
Yeah, it's 120 for sure. It's it's cool. It's cool, man.
And the orange boy?
The orange boy. Okay, so I should say 17 and a half. I think on the strap. No, on the bracelet, and it comes with the strap for this guy. So the Defy Revival, which is a repro from the or the updated repro from 1969, 39 millimeter case, 600 meter water resistance, comes in at 11.9 Australian dollars. So again, massive. Like the chronograph tax from Zenith it's big. It's
the
a big.
El Primero.
Yeah, I guess it's the movement. Yeah, but come on, guys, it's your movement. You've been doing it for 30, over 30 years.
50 years.
Yeah, come on. This one is, I don't know. This one got a really good response from people. It's kind of top heavy.
Is there a point of difference in there from a bunch of brands that I can think of off the top of my head, German brands, smaller brands with, history to justify the difference? Like...
In the movement?
Well, in the whole thing. So I look at it. I look at this funky, smaller, retro diver. Is this just for diehard Zenith fans, or could I get a Zen or a Tudor or a Doxa or something and get the look for less?
I think there is something unique about it. I mean, most of those are all going to be quite chunky. Going to a 37 millimeter case is it's a braver move. So props for that. It's cool. It's not small. So I think if you put it on, you kind of go, yeah, this still has plenty of presence and is quite nice. I mean, the bold colours and the way that Zenith have sort of brought their colours to life, I respect it. It's
quite a good price too. You're right. This
is the thing. So it's
especially consider the other stuff.
Yeah,
that's wild.
This is where I go, guys. Come on, hot take, right? Hot take. Discord. Join our Discord. But this is where I go. You could do a really competitive chronograph, and I reckon you'd sell enough that it would make the difference if you, right? And are you pricing in discounting to that retail price?
Allegedly not. I mean, boutiques and all that.
Well, you are, right? So and this is the problem I think at hand, is that there's that has been priced in, but it could be really, really competitive. Like, I looked at it and this is a really solid package. This is everything about this is really, really great, and I mean that. And there were not that many watches I picked up. And you get it right. You pick something up and you go, oh, wow, this is this much? Oh, it's the brand. You're paying for brand or whatever. This felt like a well-made European car. You slam the door, makes that thunk sound. Everything has a good click to it. Rolls Royce, all that, right? It felt really, really good. And then I heard the price and I just went, we're a bit off. We're a bit.
Yeah, I hear you.
We're a bit rich here. If this was a 40 mil case, 17, I genuinely reckon I'd be all over it. The quick change strap system is one of the best. I mean, everyone has it now. Not everyone, but enough people have it. I think it's the best one I've seen.
Really? Okay.
It's up there. It's quite impressive how they do it.
Yep.
So anyway, that's Zenith for you. I don't think there was really anything else from them, which is good. Everything there was refined. I should say there's a Gay Ferreras strap or inspired strap on the Defy as well. That
laddery one.
Yeah, it's that laddery strap, which everyone loves on the Revival.
I don't like that strap.
It's quite dressy. It's quite a dressy kind of statement on a tour watch. I think it adds. I think it helps with the orange sort of pops on there, but they did a tight collection, and I think they did it quite well. Price aside.
Are we the point where we can go to the last stop on our tour for today? Sure. Cleef Arpels. Felix?
That was fantastic. That was my last stop for the fair. That was my last appointment.
What a place to end it.
Oh, tell you what, it took every bone in my body and everything I had to kind of keep the lights on. But
it's also calm and quiet and dark in there, isn't it?
This is
the one where when they used to have the SIHH, they had group press presentations, and they have it like the UK Australia group would be end of the day, like 6 p.m.
It was
someone would fall asleep.
It was 6 p.m. My fourth or fifth day in Geneva, I was cooked. Calm, the lights were down, they played nice music, chimes, that sort of stuff. And then the team there, they brought around, trade of time, one watch, and they just talked you through it, showed you an iPad, took you through all of the quite phenomenal art that they do on the dials. I couldn't name a model. Maybe you can.
Well, I'm aware of this. So I also visited their facilities earlier this year, and I'm kind of across their sort of collection at the moment. My pick of them this year is the Lady Arpels Brise d'été, which is a sort of a pale dial with some blue flowers on it, a couple of butterflies dancing around in a retrograde time display. And you may recall it has a on-demand automation where the butterflies dance, and this is what I like the most, the flowers sort of sway in the summer breeze.
Yes, so I think to give context to the dials, there's not flowers on it, like it's three-dimensional, these watches, and they use things like enamel, but also glass. I want to say that they've got glass in there.
Some of them, yes.
Some of them, they do crazy stuff with glass.
Well, actually, they've got patents. So this is the wild stuff. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no, please.
They've patented new enamel techniques like 3D enameling.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there's 3D enameling, and I want to say, I can't remember what it's called, but they took us through it. And you're absolutely right. Like, it's layers upon layers upon layers.
Façonné enamel, I think, or façonné?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, but they've patented it. But it is layers upon layers upon layers of detail. Not two bits of detail, not 3, like 5. And it is insane when they show you, and when you look at it, and the quality and the finishing on it still was great. I do remember there was a Journey of the Sun and the Moon collection. So there was 2. There was with Mother of Pearl. One was sort of the white that you're used to with like a seashell engraving. Mm-hmm. The other one was like, had like a guilloche pattern on it.
Yeah, it's like a crisscross guilloche pattern. That's the Lady Arpels Jour et Nuit.
Which is Journey of Night, I want to say.
Or Day or Night, which is, it's essentially, again, it's really, really clever. Like, it's quite simple. It's just a 24-hour disc. Like, in terms of watchmaking, it's a movement with a module. It's not high complication, but it punches above its weight.
Oh, so yeah, there's the 2. So there's the one with the blue, it's painted blue, so it's still Mother of Pearl, but it's painted blue with the guilloche effect. So it's actually on the Mother of Pearl, so it doesn't have that sort of seashell look, which is the night version to the day.
Yeah. And then in the back, there's that 24-hour disc with the sun and a moon that, rotates around once a day, which is
awesome. Yeah.
That's their sort of their main commercial release. Like, that's them, and smashing out the volume.
Yeah, and so you look at it, you look at the base of the dial, which is the Starry Night, and the amount of detail there, the way they use sort of like frosted white gold, yellow gold, gemstones on that, the way they use Mother of Pearl, the way they use it on the case as well. Sort of a set case. This stuff is,
it's cool. It's really, really cool.
It's wild, and it shows off their jewelry making and their creativity.
Hey,
and the way they package it.
Look at this. This is what I did. I can show you. This is my little butterfly that I made of all Cleef Arpels.
You still got it?
I still got it. It's on my desk. I need to put it on a little necklace or something.
You need to frame it or something. But that was cool. That was cool just to kind of go look at something different and creative. That was really those were the sort of the 2 pieces that we focused on. That and the was it the not the fairy, the other one you mentioned,
the breeze.
The breeze, yeah. That so sort of 3, and that was it. And it was a nice way to finish the fair. The last thing we can rip into really quickly was one I want to talk about. It was Atelier Wen.
Oh yeah, not in the Palexpo.
No, across the river, the Beau Rivage. I'd never seen this brand before.
Yep,
we'd sort of discussed it, and cool stuff. Good quality. In hand.
Yeah, again, finally, guilloche and enamel they're doing nice dials.
And really cool stuff with materials. They're doing I want to say they're doing a machine tungsten watch.
Cool.
Which was very heavy.
Were we allowed to know about that?
Yeah, it was on display. Like, it was in a thing. It was on display in the metal. It was really cool. They're still figuring out what to do with it. I don't know. Come at me.
I like that approach of like, this is cool. We don't know what we're going to do with it. We'll get back to it in 6 to 9 months.
Here's some other stuff we tried and that didn't work. They'd like their dial, like the patterning machine for their dial, whatever it's called.
Yep.
They had some of the past collaborations. So one that I love with the Sakon X wrist check, which was a 3-way.
They were like
gold stitching.
Dials that hadn't passed quality control that they fixed.
With some gold stitching. That was a 3-way collaboration. They proudly told me about the 3-way, and I said
almost 4.
I said, nice try, guys. Nice try. But quality was good, and the money, I think, is around 3-ish.
Pretty decent still.
It's pretty decent.
But they're hard to get. They get hypey as well,
Really cool stuff on the brace as well, the way that they have the kind of clasp extender. So when you open the clasp, it kind of slides out. There's like a little section that slides out to give you an extra centimetre just for putting it on and off. So you actually don't need as many links to get it over your hand. And it doesn't need to fold on itself. really, it was quite, and it's not a new thing. It's just people don't
use it anymore.
They don't do it as much.
Yeah.
So that was really clever.
Yay Chinese watchmaking.
Oh, the quality was, honestly, it was fantastic stuff. I'd be keen to sort of see where they get to, and
well, let's get them on. We'll have to get Robin or one of the guys on to talk about it.
I think that would be fantastic. But anyway, I think that's just about it for the Watches and Wonders wrap. There's plenty of other stuff, and
I'm sure it'll come up. We'll forget with something. We'll bring it up later on down the track. And like you said, we've got some interviews. We've got some manufacturer experiences to talk about. Some other bits and bobs.
100%.
Andy, thanks for going to Geneva. That was great. I really have lived vicariously through you and your, rage at the lack of coffee.
You were missed. Everyone, I told you, everyone was like, oh, Andy works, Felix. You know Felix? Everyone knows Felix. Everyone missed you. Everyone's like, I wish it's Felix here. I wish Felix was here. Had a great time with him at some fondue party.
We don't talk about the fondue party. Yeah. That's the first rule of fondue party.
I know. Well, people were talking about it. Anyway.
If you do want to talk about the fondue party, Discord, social media, ot.podcast, otpodcast.com, YouTube, obviously, where you might be watching this. Please comment, subscribe, like, share, ring that bell, all that jazz.
Get in there. But most importantly,
Cartier.
Cartier, thank you so much. How fantastic that we have them supporting us. But if you like OT, tell people. And tell us. Just tell us.
If you like Andy's dog's tail, share it with a friend.
Luna, what did you think of watches? Yeah, she missed me during the fair, so she'll say it was horrible to never go again. All right. See you guys next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. Have a good one.